It's time for another blistering report from the front lines of the cultural war for a constitutional America. And now, here's your host, Charles Benninghoff.
Is the very fake news network CNN, cable news network, otherwise known as CNN, is it aiding and abetting support to terrorism by providing Islamic terrorists with a stable platform and news outlet for its ghastly propaganda? I think the case can easily be made that it is, especially when you look at how the network has treated a patriotic combat veteran and U.S. Marine who is serving in the Oklahoma state legislature. When a news network has moved so far towards anti-American polemics that you have to ask whether its day-to-day reporting qualifies as treason, isn't it time to take action, or at least take a very close look? That's what we're asking you to do today. Take action after taking a very close look and listening to this content of this video. That's what my network of American action heroes actually does every day. And I'll tell you how you can get involved in stirring up some trouble with Congress for this action news network of theirs, so stay tuned. First, let's take a look at one of the latest insults to intelligence that the very fake news CNN shared with us and its dwindling audience. Here's a little background. The Council for American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, is a Muslim Brotherhood front group run and controlled out of Egypt, and it raises money for Hamas and other jihadi groups in the Middle East. This was proven beyond any shadow of a doubt in the federal court case of the United States versus Holy Land Foundation. It was a federal trial in 2008. CAIR set up this ridiculous event at the Oklahoma legislature called Muslim Day, in which the Muslims send in a bunch of their teenage students to pretend they come from a benevolent and peaceful culture, which it surely is not. Representative from Oklahoma, John Bennett, a combat veteran who has probably fought the cousins and uncles of some of these students in wars overseas, sent out a questionnaire to the students ahead of time, asking questions about civil law. Civil law, in other words, the law applied in the court system of the United States. Bennett's staff would not allow the students into his office until they answered questions on some key concepts such as wife beating and the fact that people must be punished by death for leaving the group called Islam. This, of course, triggered the snowflakes on CNN. So they ran to the rescue and gave a nationwide airtime to the head of the local CAIR group. Remember, that's the Council on American Islamic Relations, the Muslim Brotherhood front group. Take a look and notice that CNN does not just play the outrage of the terrorist apologist for CAIR. The network also piles it on, smearing American hero John Bennett. Take a look. You won't believe it.
It is very offensive to outright discriminate against Muslims by administering a religious test as a basis for, willing to meet with them.
You heard him say he thought that this amounted to a religious test. Now, Representative Bennett has expressed his anti-Muslim views in the past. The Tulsa World, the local newspaper, is reporting that he called Islam, quote, a cancer on our nation. That's precisely why these students say they wanted to meet with him on Muslim Day to try and speak with him about his views and clear up misconceptions. Now, it's also worth noting that Bennett's Facebook page quotes scripture from the Bible.
In this clip, CNN and the Muslim Brotherhood talking heads referred to Bennett giving religious tests. These tests given were civil law tests. There are many things in the Christian Bible, for example, that our civil law forbids. But in Islam, those same things are to this day required, such as multiple wives, beating wives, beheading Christians, clitorectomies, and punishing people by death if they leave this cult of Islam. Indeed, the Muslim Brotherhood was the one requiring a religious test by having a Muslim Day in the first place in our legislative house. I don't know about you, but hearing that makes me hope that John Bennett runs for national office. I'll sure back him if he does. Senator Jim Inhofe from Oklahoma now is 82 years old. So it could happen, and it could happen quick. Bennett might be in the stir for a new seat. Aside from earning our respect for Representative Bennett, CNN's very fake news coverage should infuriate all red-blooded Americans. In fact, you could make this argument that CNN is committing a crime here by unabashedly issuing propaganda on behalf of a known terrorist organization, CAIR. CNN's coverage is so one-sided and biased and disgusting that it looks more like Al Jazeera these days than an American-based news network. The network didn't give John Bennett any similar amount of airtime to discuss his views, and it did not tell the viewers that CAIR is a known terrorist front group. Think about that for a second. Really, CAIR has a state-of-the-art communication equipment system that broadcasts into homes all across America and indeed around the world. And it lies to its viewers about the Muslim Brotherhood terrorists who are at war right now with our country. In federal statute under 18 United States Code, section 2339A, that's 2339A, it says, and I quote, providing material support for terrorists. It calls for up to 15 years in prison for anyone who aids and abets terrorism. Here is the list of things that qualify as providing material support for terrorism. And I quote, the term material support or resources means any property, tangible or intangible, or service, including currency or monetary instruments, or financial securities, financial services, lodging, training, expert advice or assistance, safe houses, false documentation or identification, communication equipment, facilities, weapons, and so on. And I end quote. CNN is using communications equipment and facilities, and it's also spending a ton of money to spread pure propaganda in behalf of these terrorists. I think this rises to the level of a potential crime. And if you agree, then I hope you'll go to our action page today and speak out. America must tell the House Judiciary Committee, or the entire Congress if you wish, to go after very fake news network CNN and direct the Justice Department to conduct a full investigation. Freedom of the press is not a shield for treason against the United States, although I am sure CNN would like you to believe that. You can send personal letters to Congress demanding investigation and charges against CNN from our action pages today. Well, Bob Mallory on the next screen will have instructions how you can get there and how you can take action. So, this is Charles Benninghoff signing off and wishing you freedom, fulfillment, and God's many, many blessings, and asking you to go to our action page, take action, send those letters to Congress and demand that they respond, and be your own action hero. Thank you.
If you're on our action page on our website, use the form next to the video screen to select a program and send personal letters to Congress. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, click the icon appearing now to find the link to our action page, or check the video's description to find the link. Speak out today.